I'm now recording.
This guy.
You need to get a copy of the Green Lantern's oath and just recite that.
You know what? What is that guy? The narrator. You'd be an amazing narrator. You just narrate everything.
Well, I do. I'm a voice actor. I do phone systems. I do bank commercials. I do.
Phone sex.
You know, I wish I could get phone sex going. It's like, you know, it's just you take your pants off and drop them slowly to the floor.
D&D sex. That's the topic for tonight.
Like the Xbox narrator. Whenever you push the activate button on it, it just tells you everything. Your pants fell off.
You could do quins. Do you guys know what? Do you guys know what quins are?
No,
I have no idea.
So it's sort of like whatever that stupid word is, ASMR videos.
Yeah.
Or recordings. But it's basically you can either have a man or choose man or female to be the one talking, but they talk really low and seductively, and basically they start hitting on you and start being very graphic, and if it's a guy talking to a woman, he'll make the noises of the
Send me the link.
Just look up
Send the link.
Just later look up Google quins.
So
quins.
It's like what, like post dubbing, like phone sex.
Yeah, phone sex without having to be responsive to the other person. They just do the whole thing for you.
Well, it's funny, like when you see people who like stumble upon that ASMR stuff.
Yeah,
because they're like I was playing D&D with this one group at our local game shop, and legitimately the guy was all talking about, he was like freaking out, like he was like, have you seen how many subscribers they have? You're talking hundreds and thousands, and you know, some of them have like 1 million subscribers, and the views are astronomical, like almost 1 million views and stuff, and there's pages and pages, and the whole night he was fixated, like we're running Tomb of Annihilation. I'm like, he's our life cleric. I'm like, hey man, we kind of need some healing. He's like, I
can't get past the
thousands of views. And then every time you roll a dice, he take his dice out. He sits there, he takes figurine or whatever. And go, oh, look at that, isn't it beautiful? And you're like, dude, stop. We're playing.
Look at that. That's a 20. Confirmed 20.
That's a critical hit.
He's
like, crit me.
He's like, look at this dwarf. It's amazing. And you're like, stop it.
Dude, you gotta make. If you ever make TikToks, I will totally follow you.
Did you make a TikTok of the reaction of the dinosaur with 500 teeth?
No, I haven't done it yet.
You literally had one job.
I forgot.
One job.
I was gonna do it. I'm sorry.
No, you had 2 jobs. I'm sorry. Dinosaur with the teeth, and figure what the hell Venom 2 was supposed to be about.
Oh God.
Oh, it's about Carnage. Yeah. It's about him fighting Carnage.
Sweet.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Is Venom 2 all about Tobey Maguire's dancing in Spider-Man 3?
Oh, yes, I'm loving this.
Yes.
I love the Tobey Maguire in
epic.
Avengers Endgame. That's one of my new favorite, like, badly created gifs or whatever.
I don't know what they did. I enjoyed the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It was a little bit campy, and I wasn't totally on board with their Green Goblin, but it was enough and enjoyable enough that I could get past most of that stuff, and it was very good. And Tobey Maguire was not campy. Second one, you know, your second movie is never as good as the first one, but then they totally went Batman and Robin with the third one.
The third one, where you turned to like the Black Spider-Man. Yeah.
And ruined Venom.
Who was the second one? Andrew Garfield, right?
Yeah, that'd be the second one, and then
yeah. Dude, I think he was the best Spider-Man, to be honest. Like, I really do. Like, I like the guy now, Peter. I don't know what his name is.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah, I like him, but Andrew Garfield to me was the best Spider-Man.
No, I really like Tom Holland. I think he was great.
We probably
I
should do an introduction, and then so that way we can just go ahead and say, "Hey, we're doing a
Well,
podcast."
hold on, I didn't get to say who my favorite.
Oh, I
Spider-Man
apologize. I
was.
apologize.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Whatever the name of that Japanese guy was in the 1970s Japanese Spider-Man TV series.
I thought you were going to say the Indian knockoff one that they play at the draft house.
There's
No, that was-
actually Turkish. There's Turkish Spider-Man,
Turkish.
which is made by the creators of Danger 5.
The only one
That's a good one.
The only one I remember from Alamo Drafthouse was the Indian Superman, and
Oh yes.
the girl with him is Spider Girl or Spider Woman, and they beat a couple of bad guys and do the horrible spin that's not really fast enough to be a spin, and then for no reason we will dance and sing.
No, well, you know what? We might as well go. Well, nope, we lost
yeah.
the partner. He apparently
Quick, start it before he has a chance.
started before he has a chance. All right, let's go ahead and do some introductions. What it do? We are back with another podcast. We are gonna hopefully give some experience and explode all of your mustache. On the mic today we have
DeHoffman.
and
Who you pointing towards? I'm like this way. And then you got this guy down here.
on my screen you're here.
Yeah,
It's different for everybody.
Different for everybody.
That's right. Everybody has their taste, right? The Draco, the one and only.
And
Draco.
guest
I
starring.
know you're watching it. I know you're watching.
God,
I'm the
God.
only one.
You're supposed to say your
Go on.
name and be done with it. You're not supposed to.
And now he's
do-
catty corner like this. See this him right down there?
and also guest starring again for a second time. We brought back.
I'm Matthew E.G. Jones, and this is the sound of my voice. And yes, both males and females are lubricating as we speak.
Oh. And Chaz is
He's
gonna
not-
try
he's
to
not- he's
loosely
not lying.
moderate this, I guess.
He's not
or-
lying. See, he's not lying. Straight lube it up.
Do you really have lube right by your computer in your screen right now?
Technically, my computer belongs back there.
Was the lube
This is
there,
my-
or was
this
it?
is my This is my baby making area right here.
Do you need?
Do you really want to start asking questions, Chaz, or you just want to let it go? Because you start asking questions, he's going to start explaining.
I mean, I really think
see
I
my
don't know
budget.
much if Matt, how freaky Matt is, but you two, I don't want to ask y'all a lot of questions, no, because you two are pretty freaky.
Jedi on the streets, a Sith in the sheets.
You're just a Sith, period.
I think the term baby making is disturbing in and of itself and is something that a homeless man on the bus would say at you while winking. I make babies.
Or when you hand him a baby, says no thanks, I'm a
Not far
vegetarian.
from the truth.
Look at this goblet.
baby-
All right. Who wants
baby
to
back
lead
ribs.
off with what they're excited about?
All right, I'll start.
Oh, here
First
we
thing
go.
I'm- First thing I'm excited about is the new TV show on Netflix. It's been out for a little bit. We're kind of late to the game to talk about it, but we haven't done a video since it came out. But Winx, the Winx saga, live action.
Okay, go ahead. I just
It's
finished the whole thing yesterday.
right. It's loosely based off of an old cartoon series that was made in Italy, and Nickelodeon picked it up. And it's about this girl from Earth who finds out that she's got magical fairy powers and goes to a school for fairies in another realm. And the live action version is, like true to Netflix genres, is much darker and serious than the cartoon series. And she is basically a fire starter. And that's
With
what
the
we
fire
find.
starter.
Well, she's a
Fire
fire fairy.
Fire fairy, but
To wit, the
Uh,
fire starter.
Her element
Twisted
is
fire
fire. Fire.
it's the show's getting a lot of heat, no pun intended, because everybody is upset about her character. They're like, oh my god, she's so broody and moody, and she gets pissed off at her mother, who's doesn't really do anything wrong, and she's so horrible to her friends. And what they don't understand is fire is a rage emotion, and part of her not growing up knowing that she was a fairy, having these abilities and stuff, fire, the element of fire, is taking over her the entire time. And so when she's changing her moods, when she's accidentally setting fire to her house, she gets very remorseful, but she's getting these feelings that she can't control. And so, yeah, she's being a bitch sometimes, but it's because of her element.
So her parents are like fire bad. And
Well, they didn't know that she was a fairy, and one night she got pissed off at her mother. They got into a fight, and she accidentally set fire to the house, which caused 5th-degree burns on her mother. So after that night, she would pretend to go to bed, climb out her window, and go sleep in an empty warehouse every night because she was afraid of starting another fire and killing her family.
See, every time you guys talk about fairies, I think back in 2nd edition D&D when you were able to play a fairy, when they came out, the monstrous humanoids and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I'm about to be unfriended by D'Hoffryn and potentially Matt, but I hate that movie, The Labyrinth. I cannot stand it, except the one part where the guy was like, "Fucking pixies," I'm just sitting there spraying them down. So every time we played D&D and someone played a fairy or a pixie, that's what I would do. I would kill them and just go, "Fucking pixies." With the
She bit me. What'd you expect them to do?
How can you hate Labyrinth? Come on. I mean,
Dude,
you've run so far, you've run so fast. I mean, come on. It's just
the best movie that was
dance,
the
magic
main,
dance. Come on.
The main actor of the movie is a giant cock. I mean, that is basically when you watch Labyrinth, all you're doing is watching an hour and 30 minutes of David Bowie's cock in your face.
I mean, I know that's why you like it.
David Bowie is awesome. I think they even have a Labyrinth 2, by the way.
Not yet.
I heard that maybe it's like a fan fiction or something like that, where David Bowie ends up marrying the girl. Somebody was telling me about it the other day.
Well, there was some Japanese comic book, I believe, like Labyrinth, and I think also Blade Runner both received before their actual sequels or prequels came out. I think they both had like Japanese comic books that ran for years.
Maybe that's what it was, because I remember somebody was just telling me about it. He's like, "No, David Bowie marries the character." I was like,
well,
I don't remember that.
I thought the second Labyrinth was Borat.
About to Winks.
Borat.
Not Borat, sorry, Bruno. Just a dick flopping around in front of you at all times.
I was going to say Labyrinth Super Supreme Puppet Movie Super Show film would be, or whatever the title for that, Borat and Labyrinth.
So it's funny. I love how D'Hoffryn's talking, and like as you guys start commentating on what he's saying, he doesn't skip a beat. Like he just stays to it, right? Well, I just got done editing one of our videos of him unboxing his Dritz.
I got you saying it.
I do it too. Yeah, I do it too. And his husband is behind the scene commenting and like correcting him, and he doesn't care. D'Hoffryn just keeps going, and he's heckling him from behind the screen, and he's like, "This sword is icing, yes, icing on the cake." And you hear his husband just getting angrier and angrier, and then he goes, "Oh, and look, you see the footprints of Panthera in the snow here," and he's like, "I will kill you. I will fucking kill you." And D'Hoffryn's like, "It's fucking kill you," or whatever you said. He did nothing phase him. And when playing D&D with him, he's playing a paladin, female or male, doesn't matter. But when you talk to him and say, "Hey, you should smite that person," he's like, "Oh, you mean thunderous smite?" No. Real smite, real damage. So thunderous smite. No, the other smite. Okay, so I'm going to do thunderous smite. God damn it. Every time. I feel for your husband. I really do.
Here's a fun fact about Winx, by the way.
Okay.
I'm not gonna ruin it for how it ended, because obviously you and I have watched it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't supposed to end that way. Netflix had to end it that way on 6 episodes instead of the regular 10 that they do, because of COVID happened. So they had to end it in a much different way than they planned on ending it. I cannot wait for season 2 though.
I hope there's season 2. That's going to be another one. I talk to you guys at the end of each video. Watch Julie and the Phantoms. I'm adding Winx to the mix. We want second seasons of both these shows, so...
I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
When the last episode ended, how did it make you feel?
That is hard, because I don't believe it ends the way they want you to make it think it ends. I believe that we are going to have surprise endings and surprise people coming back that, oh my god, just like there were other characters at the end of the episode that like, oh, they're not supposed to be there. We're going to have other people that you think, oh, surprise, and it's not going to be a surprise for me because I can see stuff like that coming a mile away. But
all I gotta say, when it ended for me, dude, I was screaming. Like, I was shaking the computer screen, like, what the fuck? Why would you do this?
it's total, but that is total Netflix fashion. How they ended it is how every season, first season usually ends, is the, well, we'll let people watch and then we can talk about it. They have until next week to binge watch it before we talk about the last episode.
Hey, Matt, can I ask you a question?
Yes, I am a huge fan of 10 Speed and Brown Shoe.
That's what I want to hear. Nuns Without Bicycle Seats, right? So when you recommend to a friend to watch a show or a movie, do you get annoyed when that friend just blatantly says, I'm not going to watch it, and they go watch a show like Winx or Josie and the Phantoms?
Julie, you're right.
Oh, because and it's a hard life lesson learned. Most of the stuff that I watch up until recently would have been considered esoteric or strange things, where it's like, just whatever. I mean, it's like Kolchak the Night Stalker. No one cares. No one wants to watch Darren McGavin hunt down a weekly monster in the 70s. It's just not a thing.
But I can't talk to my friends about like The Mandalorian season 2 because they're too busy watching these shows designed for 9-year-old girls.
Which friend are you talking about?
Oh,
here?
Both of you.
Two of them?
Both of you.
I finished The Mandalorian. Thank you very much.
Yeah, how long did it take you to finish it?
That's not my fault, okay? Let me explain. I have to watch it with my wife, and it takes us 3 days to watch one episode.
No,
and
divorce
that's not
her.
A joke. That's not a joke.
Do it without her.
Matt, we'll be in the middle of an episode, right? Like 5 minutes of the episode, she's like, oh, wait, I gotta pee. Then she comes back. Oh, wait, cook food.
So I will give you room to talk, Chaz, when you've watched
Darkness Rising? Watched it.
Darkness Rising.
Watched it.
Finally.
No, I watched it a long time ago.
When you watch Fate.
So this is your argument, and this is
me. And what about the Dungeons and Dragons movie with Tom Hanks?
No, I'm not watching anything.
No.
Watch something.
That is not a Dungeons and Dragons movie, strictly speaking. It's called Mazes and Monsters.
Mazes and Monsters. Yes, I know.
And really, it's about Muncie, Indiana, and steam tunnels and suicide. You know what? I have a solution for you. Seriously, what you do is you consider if you pick one show, and I've done this with folks. You pick one show each of you wants to push or foist or torture the other one with, and then you do it like a book club. You just kind of go, here's the one, we're going to watch one episode this week, and then we're going to sit and we're going to talk, and we're going to draw the most bizarre parallels we can possibly find between The Mandalorian and The New Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh my God.
The chilling adventures of Sabrina.
Now, you know what's going to happen is...
It's a mad Sabrina.
I'm probably going to break up a marriage with that one because I'm going to... When I bet to Hoffman something, it's going to be to watch Lord of the Rings. It's going to... He has to watch Lord of the Rings.
Wait, are you talking about the best version, the original Rankin Bass animated version?
He hasn't seen any of them.
I watched the cartoons. The original cartoon Hobbit, where there's a whip, there's a way.
Yeah. But what about the Lord of the Rings animated Rankin Bass? So you had the two on either end, and then you had the middle one, which was done by Ralph Bakshi. And most people don't like that one, but it's fantastic if you like Ralph Bakshi and really crazy 70s stuff.
Well, what's funny was if you like those kind of cartoons, Draco there forgot that the Black Cauldron is a dark, scary movie, and showed his kid that, and totally forgot that Gurgi, spoiler alert, dies.
Gurgi sacrificed himself. Gurgi love you.
He calls me up. He's pissed. He's like, I forgot Gurgi died. My kid's crying. I was like, great. We'll have them watch the Neverending Story too. And he goes, okay. He calls you back later on, like whatever. He goes, I forgot the horse dies.
Artax.
Artax dies in the very middle of the show. Okay.
What guy?
Forgot. Artax is the horse's name.
Yeah, so here's this is a good nerd subject. So the Black Cauldron. Have any of you guys read the Prydain Chronicles, the books upon which that movie was based?
So, hey, Matt,
I
you
know
can
it's
tell
based
by
on
our
a movie.
vocabulary we don't
Or book,
read
I mean.
very often.
I do audiobooks.
Pick them up. They've got them at the library. Audiobooks count, and don't ever let anyone tell you different.
Wait. Let me get my pen and paper. Hold on.
I feel like someone's husband would say differently.
No.
What's the name of it?
The Prydain Chronicles. Prydain.
See, last
Or
time I
maybe
made
it's
a
maybe
bet
it's
with
the
someone.
Peridian. Whatever. But yeah, look up the Black Cauldron, the Prydain Chronicles. They're fantastic series of books, and some nice fantasy.
See, I
do,
unfortunately made a bet with someone
Audible
who
at
has the
work.
same taste in movies as you do, and I had to end up watching Vulgar, the movie Vulgar.
Was it good?
It's with Kevin Smith and his buddies about the
Speaking
clown.
of Kevin Smith, I follow his son.
No. It's a sodomizing clown.
Oh, I should see
That's
this.
right up. Yeah,
Well, Matt's all like vulgar.
Yeah, no, that's
it's
that's
right up
right
his
up.
alley.
Yeah, and up someone else's according to the plot of the film, I guess.
That's up there with polyester.
Oh,
Since
my
we're speaking
God.
about Netflix shows, have you guys, any of y'all watched The Magicians yet?
I watched that from its inception. I was surprised
He was
that
asking about Magicians, not Inception, buddy.
yes.
You've plugged one show already.
Yes, I watched that from the beginning, and I actually read all of those books. Thank you, Chaz. So after the 4th season, that was a very good. It was a very beautiful and heart-wrenching ending to that season, but it wrapped up everything loosely based off of the book. So when this 5th season came out, I was ecstatic. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Is the 5th season good? Because I've refused to watch it so far.
I thought it was good.
Because the first season's amazing. Second season's not that bad. Third and fourth season got really political on me here. Okay, I'm all about politics. I want to watch a good show. I don't care what you do. Don't push your agenda on me, right? And then at the very end of the 4th season, you find out the main person is really nobody. He's a nobody. I watched 4 seasons for a nobody to do nothing. Oh my god, I was so disappointed. I cried. I remember I cried.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was beautiful, but Jesus, I was just like, fuck.
I thought all 4 seasons were great. It was, again, it's one of the rare scenarios when I say this, but I actually thought that the movie / TV show was better than the books. I thought that some of the books kind of drew out and were kind of long. And so I still recommend people reading the books. I'm not trying to bash them. I was able to get through all 4 of them. There were some books that I've put down. It would take me a year to read. All of the Magician books, I was able to make it through.
So now
if you
the
like,
question is, how many of those Salvatore books have you got through yet?
I'm still working on that.
Oh, are you working on them? Really?
Yes.
You've heard about this, Matt, right? So
What R.A. Salvatore?
yeah.
Yeah.
What about?
So DeHoffman here purchased a lovely Dritz statue, and then was told to buy the books to read about the books because he didn't understand what Dritz's lore and like all this cool stuff. He's already pre-ordered Dritz's girlfriend or wife. Wife. What's her name?
Cat. I forget her full name.
And the correct is Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! I thought you were gonna be all like, her name is Clarence and blah blah blah.
No. Her name is. I don't read a lot of fantasy novels.
Just sodomy novels.
A lot of people cringing because they've been making comments on there talking to me about her, and they were actually able to explain to me who she was. And I've already not only forgotten all of that, although in the beginning books apparently she starts off as his girlfriend, and somebody else's when they said wife is like, oh no, not with the beginning. But I've already forgotten her name. But the statue,
Katie Bree.
Katie Bree. Katie Bree.
Now,
She a beautiful
Katie
statue.
Bree sounds like she works at the Gap.
oh, she does.
She's a
Hot
human.
Topic.
Drizzt is the drow. She's a human.
Now, when he does get his next unboxing of the what is the inn? What is it? Oh, the Yawning Portal. When D'Hoffrey's Yawning Portal comes in, I'm gonna need you to go over to their house and film Mark. You know, his reaction to the Yawning Portal miniature.
Miniature.
Oh, I'm gonna laugh. It's like miniature.
Is that a genre of video yet? Reboxing videos where you just pack shit up you don't like and send it back?
That should be. Mark would be totally down with that.
We
Mark
should do
would
that.
be totally down for that because he's already talking about minimizing what I have because apparently this is too much, and he's already told me that he thinks that I need to downsize. So,
Is that collection of stuff on the walls there and next to you the extent of it?
oh God, no.
Well, that's Winnie the Pooh.
I'm asking for the sake of the viewers because I already know.
Let's see here. We've got
Oh wow, we're in a room tour.
all of that.
Superman, yeah.
All of that.
No, hold on. There's no like. There's nothing like phallic laying
Oh.
around in that room right now, is there?
Actually, there kind of is. I've got one non-family friendly statue.
What kind of toy line is this from?
Oh, my favorite is when he showed me his pride possession of Ken doll.
Yes. Oh, that's in one of the videos that
What is it?
we'll
Is
have.
it like a
where Mark-
Thomas of Finland edition of Ken doll or something?
No, but they make that, and I want one of those. And
Yeah,
that one
I
is-
was just spitballing. I was not being serious, but that's awesome.
they've got it, and it is anatomically correct.
Oh, gee.
But no, I have a Ken doll. I'll try to make this fast.
I'll say it.
How Barbie Mattel picks their fashions for the dolls, at least in the beginning, was they literally went out everywhere, looked at what people were wearing, and that was the fashion. So they thought that that's what everybody was doing. So that's how they dressed up Barbie and their Kens. Well, they went out to, I believe it was San Francisco, and saw all these men in leather vests with mesh crop tops and these giant rings around their neck, and said, "Oh, that's perfect because we want to do a line with magic earrings for Barbie." And because all these men had one single earring in their, I want to say it's left. Please, my gay geeks, don't hate me for forgetting which one's
It's alright.
the
Just our
left and
parents
which
are
one's the
watching
right.
this. You're good.
But it was in one specific ear was pierced, and so they made Ken with the ear piercing and the mesh t-shirts and the leather things and the necklace. And what they didn't realize was the giant circle on the neck was cock rings.
It was advertising how
Because-
big your dick is.
Yeah, you walked around and said, "Hey, this is how big my dick is. You want to go behind the shed and meet,
Famously, gay men wearing miniaturized faces of Eddie Cochran on their chests. The famed lawyer from the OJ trial.
Yeah. So that one quickly, as fast as it went on the shelves, quickly went off the shelves, and I was able to procure a famously gay Ken doll.
I hope that was what they called it on the box.
Famously
Unfortunately,
gay
not.
Ken.
Famously
This
gay.
is the only box this Ken will be coming in.
That was the first and last box that he ever came in.
Oh, I love how straight faced you are when you say shit like that. And just so everyone knows, this is all ad lib. We have no scripts whatsoever. When you have three ADHD people running a podcast, that's what you get, boys and girls.
I need to fire my script writers then.
Yeah. When you have three people who can't organize anything running a podcast, ta-da! So I was interested. So I've been playing a board game, And I know board games have come a long way. And I remember back when I was in my early 20s, I didn't get into board games because who cares about Chutes and Ladders and the game's sorry. And because some of our friends cannot control themselves, we can't play Risk.
I'm over
We
here. I'm
can't
over
play
here.
Risk because some of our friends can't control themselves. Which consequently, they do make a new Risk 2210. Which was funny when we realized that there was a moon on this Risk board, and all of our friends cared nothing about the world anymore. All they wanted to do was colonize the moon. One of our friends, Lyndon, only wanted to colonize the moon. And the moment Lyndon wanted to colonize the moon, Draco was like, I want the moon too. And then they were like, Chaz, what does the moon give us? Like, it gives you nothing. Nothing is gained by getting the moon. So then Draco goes, then why the fuck do you want the moon, Lyndon? Lyndon goes, because I want the moon. And then Draco's like, I really want the moon now too. So the rest of the game, they cared nothing about the world. They just care about the moon. So, little side note. But I've realized that they've actually stepped up the game with board games. Like 5-7 years ago, they really started really bringing out these really big, expansive board games. And I fell in love with one called Gloomhaven. Have y'all played Gloomhaven?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you haven't invited me over yet to play it.
Well, it's because I don't like you. So,
I love it
And
too.
I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic.
yeah,
No.
that too.
Don't invite me over to mow his lawn.
But there's Gloomhaven.
Is
but
that a metaphor?
one thing I want to get y'all's thoughts on is like, and maybe we can get start a conversation on was, so it's kind of cool that these really cool board games, like Kickstarter is really starting to find out these big, giant, massive boxes of fantasy D&D-esque board games, but then other indie companies are starting to make video games about those same board games because of, like you said, the pandemic.
Have you guys played Zombicide Black Plague? It's one of my favorites of all time now.
I have it on my
PC,
wish list. I have
Xbox?
not played it.
Okay.
PC.
I mean, you can get it on Steam or Tabletop Simulator, but you can also get it, the boxed version. Zombicide Black Plague. Zombicide is one of those modern big box indie kickstarted board games that is all about. I mean, it's just basically like everything you imagine. It's like, oh, you run from the zombies and then you open doors and then you have complete objectives. It's like that, but it's set in fantasy world.
Okay.
And
So almost like Betrayal on House on the Hill?
It is not a completely different way of playing. It is wave after wave of zombies, ratmen, crows, necromancers, horrors, depending on what you're playing with, Shoggoths. Depending on what you're playing with, it really varies. But Zombicide Black Plague is probably the board game that hooked me the most in the last 3 years.
We started playing Gloomhaven, and I was really blown away by the complexity and ease of it. Because before that, we played a game called Scythe, which was a dystopia Europa, where they had, instead of steampunk, it's dieselpunk. I don't know if you've heard of that
I
game.
destroyed you.
What's that?
What? Nothing.
Okay.
Keep going.
But
Destroyed you.
okay. So, anyways, we were playing that, and when you look at these board games, they have the complexity of actually having character cards and almost like a character sheet card that really like scratch the itch for role playing, tabletop role playing. And
Zombicide Black Plague.
Yeah, I got on my wish list. Yeah, I saw that. But what do you think? Like, it's almost like a call to indie game developers, because I know a lot of companies are starting to lay off again. I heard Valve has just laid off some people, and other companies, technology. I'm hoping that maybe they can like get a resurgence of board games. Like, hey, Zombicide Black Plague, is it being created by someone on Steam, or is it only on Tabletop Simulator?
Wait, what do you mean? Is it no? It's someone just created it for Tabletop Simulator and
yeah, in the
uploaded
workshop, right?
Illegally or what have you.
Well, no, the workshop. You can put it in the workshop, because in Tabletop Simulator, that's what I love about that system, is you can create your own stuff. You're not technically breaking
Okay, so you have to have Tabletop Simulator to have it.
Well, you have to have it, yes, and you have to, because on the workshop, They have the free thing, so I don't think they can charge. This is how they get around that law. I could be wrong, but actual companies are making like Gloomhaven's actually becoming a real video game. Like it's its own standalone video game along with the board game. So because of we're still years away from everyone feeling safe enough to get back together. Not saying we shouldn't or we should, just saying that most people won't. What do y'all think? Do you see anything on the? Are you guys gonna start watching like video game developers start actually? What are you showing us?
Gloomhaven, man. Yeah, they got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whether they are or not, I hope that's where they're going, because from the first time that I played Betrayal at House on the Hill, I thought that would be an awesome video game. I get that it takes a lot of work to do, because how I see it playing out in a video game would be like an open world map, and each player is running off into their own rooms, but being able to split off and each person has their own screen and only seeing the view from their own player, and being able to run through this mansion, discover stuff, and seeing the haunts and the horrors that affect your character, and then getting through to the end to where somebody's a betrayer, and then having to run through, like all of a sudden it turns into a first person shooter type of situation would be awesome. So stuff like that, like Gloomhaven. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing I'm looking at is like, have you ever played, Matt? Have you ever played?
Yes, I've played myself in things.
No, that's. Have you played with yourself? Have you played yourself?
I've played myself, and then below the camera angles, I've played with myself.
Have you played Dead of Winter?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, so that'd be a great video game. I wish they would make that a video game.
Now, here's my question, because I enjoy a lot of board games that get electronic versions of themselves, where it's just kind of stock, like Pandemic. Yeah. I think made a video game version that was just basically the board game, and I'm fine with that. Blood Bowl was basically just the board game, but it was now in a video game format, and I'm fine with that. But I do like the idea that you were just talking about, of expanding on that a little bit more. Rather than, for me, it's rather than just trying to come up with something completely different, because you love the board game, but yeah, enhance it, put some frosting on it. With stuff like when in Betrayal at House on the Hill, when something happens and it's like, oh, there's a crack is opened and there's ghosts coming out. Then you can see that in the game, and then raises the stakes. Yeah. It would be the only problem with that, I would see, is kind of like you were saying, just from a development standpoint, you would have so many different possibilities. But then again, if it was just cutscenes, it really wouldn't affect it too badly.
Well, I'm hoping, because I don't know if you guys saw that Arcade 1-Up came up with a board game table. Now it's got a touchscreen table. I mean, I've been talking about this for years, about incorporating that in D&D. Ever since like 2010, 2009, when Microsoft had this Microsoft table, I would have loved to create a D&D program for it. I are not so smart to do stuff like that, but it's one of those things that it's like, I'm hoping that maybe I can influence a person and a domino effect appears to someone who is smart enough to do that, so I can spend my hard-earned money stocking cans on shelves to buy said table for D&D. Because at the end of the day, you can tell where my hobby lies.
I mean, video tables have been a thing for a long time, and there's tons of plans for building a video table, and then you just feed a screen to it. The one that excites me is much more AR, alter reality stuff, where you could be playing a module or something, and everyone has Google Cardboard or what have you, and you're able to just kind of look down at a pre-mapped surface with points, and then you're able to kind of make, oh, here's like a little 3D dungeon entrance. That. Here's like a little. Where did they do that?
They did that with D&D. They had it's augmented reality, like kind of like where
the movie wasn't that good. Come on, man.
What's that?
The Dungeons and Dragons movie wasn't that good. It certainly wasn't.
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to say it's a bad movie. Everything about that, I have to say I like it.
Ask Chaz about the Beholder.
I have to like it. I have to.
Tell us about the Beholder. Tell us the Beholder.
It was okay. So that was in the midst of second edition, right? We were all playing second edition, converting over to 3.5, and the whole movie I was lost on me because I literally was asking myself how'd they make those saving throws, how'd they do that, where's the fucking cleric, why is it there's a rogue, two rogues, a ranger, and the worst goddamn excuse for a dwarf that could be. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? There's a beholder in the trailer. We're gonna see the beholder, and there he goes. I fucking hate my life.
That you know what? That brings up another good question about fandom. One that plagues me. Not to go off on too many tangents.
Go ahead,
here,
go on tangents.
How? At what point are you too close to something where you can't enjoy things that are meant to be made for tertiary people who may have heard of something and they're trying to pull in? I mean, it's like watching a military movie with my brother. He'll be like, that is on the wrong side. That is not him. That guy's a colonel. He shouldn't be wearing. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. That's valid.
Okay.
That's cool. They had a budget and time.
I'll give you a good scenario.
Yeah, I swear to God, if it's for a teenage girl show,
no,
I'm shutting you down.
Budget, storyline, what you can do versus getting it close enough to the content. The first 3 X-Men movies were crap. Going in it, watching the first X-Men with them and in the horrible suits and the horrible acting and Mystique. She was not Mystique, and that was one of the many things that I had problems with it. Mystique is a sexy in her white little outfit, and they had her running around naked, which, yay, all the nerd boys like, oh my god, that's great.
Just
but that was
because
not
you
Mystique.
don't like to see women naked doesn't mean you got to take it from us, okay? We let you have. We now with Game of Thrones have flopping
didn't get to see
dicks.
her naked.
No,
she was covered in scales.
Hold on.
I liked it until they killed Cyclops.
We gave you Game of Thrones. Floppy wiener, floppy wiener. I mean, you have that, and we're okay with it.
The writing, the storylines, it was not X-Men except for they just took some of their abilities and gave that to them, threw in what they were. Magneto was not Magneto.
Oh my god, I will fight this one.
Magneto, Cerebro.
No, in
Rogue,
the
cartoon.
My God.
You have to give me Rogue. I will back off Magneto, but Rogue was.
Was she sassy, southern, and did she drain people?
No.
No.
Hadn't drained Miss Marvel.
She drained. That was all they gave her was the draining.
Okay.
That's
never.
What her power is. Her power is a drain.
That's her main first power. She stole Miss Marvel's powers and became what we know her of, and that was after she grew up with Mystique. In the comic or in the movie scenarios, she never met Mystique until she joined up with the X-Men. She never had all this stuff, so she was very weak, not weak, timid, and not the badass, sassy rogue that she was supposed to be. None of the characters were. The only one that was decent besides Charles Xavier was Wolverine. Everybody else,
You're okay. We
But the
know
first
you're
three-
picking these people off bias. Okay, you're not picking them
Bias,
off of actual writing.
and the writing. But the first 3 movies versus when they went back to X-Men First Class and past that, they actually started doing a decent job. It still wasn't towards the comic books and everything, but they actually did better towards the characters after X-Men First Class.
Matt, to answer your question, going back to the question, Lord of the Rings. You have to give a lot of liberties. You have to just say, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, you have to sit back and just enjoy it. Because they leave out things all the time.
How do you feel about this? You know they're bringing Hugh Jackman back for the Avengers for Wolverine, right?
I thought he was done.
No, I thought he was done too. I thought he said
they're bringing him back. Not only they're bringing him back, they're bringing back Captain America. Okay.
I'll be honest with you, I'm done with the Avengers.
Okay.
So
We're
at this
bringing
point,
Wolverine
they're
back.
bringing Wolverine back, and he's going to be coming in there with his own set of old man walkers and a wheelchair.
I
No,
believe so.
it's
I was watching them talk about it, and then they're wanting to
Or
bring him back.
or are they going to do like they did with Tron Legacy and just superimpose and make him
Well,
entirely?
like during the Avengers
Make a gum
and the
face.
X-Men still
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
Like the X-Men and Avengers, they cross each other multiple times.
no,
Yes. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Hugh Jackman is still very good looking. He's not past his prime, but he is no longer Wolverine, and that was one of the reasons why he was gone. He was perfect for old Wolverine in that movie, but he's now
Well, see, that's the problem. That's the problem you're going to have. You're going to run into the fact that the Wolverine storyline is finished. It's done. So whatever they do has to still fit in that storyline. You know.
Well, they just got time travel. in the
no.
last
You
Avengers.
got death. He dies. He dies
When does he die?
he dies in the future.
in Logan.
Logan.
That's Logan, which is a different comic book type series.
No, it's
It's
not.
nothing to do. Yes, it is. Logan's a different comic book, like multiverse.
Old man
than
Logan.
the regular
no, no.
Wolverine.
You got to understand
get-
something. You got to understand something. It's all canon. It's all got to fit in time. Like that god awful Wonder Woman 84. How does she get powers in 1984 that she doesn't have in 2000 when she fights, Doomsday?
Oh, that's very easy. That's just like
No, it's not
TV
easy.
shows.
It's lazy.
It's just like TV shows and comic books. They always have the powers. They just don't always use them. Like
No,
the
no.
first episode of any show, they're super fantastic and do this, and then writing gets in the way, and we don't need that power
She's
anymore.
falling, but yeah, she can fly. Anyways, Lord of the Rings. That's the answer I'm going to give you, Matt. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Because they left a lot of stuff out. And I still enjoyed the movies, immensely.
Yeah, I was gonna say it comes down to, and I've actually, like, on message boards, people are like, I get offended when you use the term fanboy, but the deal is it comes down to, in my opinion, between fanboying and like allowing other people to play in the space in the formats that they belong. Like, I'm sorry, but if you made a movie that was exactly like a comic book, like in terms of pacing and structure and everything, it would blow.
Yep.
And so if you're doing something for a movie, I think you have to allow that movie to be a movie. Or if you're telling a story that was told 50 years ago, you have to be able to allow it to be told for the time it's being made in. And I think beyond that, it's like, is it good? And does it, because I think if you make obviously it's going to be good to different people, but I think part of making something in a different format is sucking in fans of that format. If they're a book fan, great. If they're a movie fan, great. If they're an audiobook fan, great. And this is this may cause some shit. Have any of you seen Roger Corman's 1994 Fantastic Four movie?
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Okay, I will say for a fact, for me, that is the best Fantastic Four movie that's been made.
That's
Without
like being
even
the
seeing that
fastest fat
movie.
kid. No one cares.
Without seeing that movie, I will have to agree with you because I've seen the Fantastic Four movies now, and they're
No, yeah, it's
Not
a true
good.
story. It's like being the fastest fat kid. No one cares. I mean, you're woo.
yeah. There's really no room for error in trying to find out which one's better because
But let's look
Those
at that
were so-
shithole movie Spawn. I mean, that's a fucking horrible movie.
Oh no. Oh no.
I mean,
no.
good
Well, it's good for its
night.
time, though.
Excluding the clown, because he's the only fucking reason to watch that movie. That's the only reason to watch that. Because I swear, I was hoping Wanda died. God, I wanted Wanda to die. I was hoping she went straight to hell. And then Devil was just like, hey, Spawn, I have Wanda. It was so bad. But Clown, John Leguizamo, second best role he's ever played in a movie.
Look, Michael Jai White did a fantastic job as Spawn, considering what he had to work with.
Sure.
And two, look, we think the chains look bad now.
Oh,
But back then,
Exactly.
they looked good. I saw Spawn in the theater. I had Spawn Pogs that were put out.
Oh, Pogs.
Yeah, Pogs. That's right.
I remember Pogs. You remember that, Chaz?
Member berries, yep.
Yeah, member berry.
Flip them over. You got to keep somebody's Pogs.
I had a Spawn Pog, and I also had a what was that? The Phantom 7-Eleven ring that you got free with a Slurpee.
We are dating ourselves today.
I remember those.
Yeah, the little skull ring. They were so awesome. They broke after like you wore them once and just flexed your hand, and they would just fall off because they were made of crap. But yeah, Spawn I think was good. The villain was terrible. Whoever the hell played the villain, I don't remember.
Charlie
he was horrible.
Sheen's dad.
What?
Charlie Sheen's dad. Martin Sheen.
I thought it was like Robert Goulet or something.
No, it's Martin Sheen. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Yeah, it's Martin Sheen.
Upset that they did not do a sequel because they teased in one of the scenes. They teased Angela, and she walked in a green suit, and she had her Spawn earrings on, and we knew that was Angela, the vengeful angel that has no other mission in life than to destroy all spawns, and that would have built up for a great movie. Yeah, and it was just a walk by. And
here's a random thought. Have y'all ever seen Firefly, the series?
Oh yeah, and the movie.
I figured. I don't know. You're checking your head notes.
How does Josh Whedon clean his car?
How?
He washes it.
I hate you. I hate everything about you.
Well, anyway, Disney owns the rights to Firefly now, and they're doing a reboot.
Yes.
I will disown Disney.
Disney owns everything. It doesn't matter what you do. Disney owns everything.
No, stop rebooting. Stop rebooting.
Bring it back.
No, let it go. Again. Come up with something else.
Well, I will say not necessarily stop rebooting everything, because we've been rebooting. People go. We've been, and even I subject myself to, like, don't fucking do that. We don't need another Night Fright or Fright Night. But the deal is I think more what needs to happen is people need to start playing more, like The Mandalorian, start playing in those universes without bringing the same characters into the, like, just with Star Wars. One of the best things I remember is the game Dark Forces.
Okay.
Playing the first-person shooter Dark Forces. It was a great video game, and it had fuck all to do with anything in the Star Wars universe except for the most teeny tiny wafer-thin connections.
Yeah. Like I love.
There was no fucking Jedis. There was no fucking. You had a blaster, and you had a fucking bowcaster, and you shot.
You weren't the chosen one.
You weren't the chosen one.
You're just Bob the Builder.
And then,
you're Boba Fett. You're a Boba Fett.
Yeah, and then in the sequel, they took that same character and went, "He's a Jedi now," and fuck you.
Well, it's like I love the Guild. I think Guild was a great thing that Felicia Day started.
Felicia, she sucked at that show.
Talking about the one on Netflix, the series on Netflix.
Yes,
the Guild.
Dude, the Guild.
It's amazing.
Yeah, except for Felicia Day, she's horrible.
Ha. Trying to guilt me. It would be horrible if they did a reboot and tried to retell the story. But if they got another group of people who started on and formed their own guild on the same game system and followed their lives, that would be great. As much as I would love for Felicia Day to be part of it and come back as her character, because Felicia Day is amazing. She's awesome. But
we want to meet you, Felicia Day, in case you're watching.
I've already met.
Okay.
I met her in person. That is her autograph that I got tattooed on me.
I can't see where.
Right there. It's upside down because I can't bend that way. But Felicia Day.
She was just on an episode of Nerd Poker that I was listening to.
Yeah, she's great. Oh, that's another thing. If people haven't listened to it, there's this great podcast out there called
the Party Games Experience.
Party Games Experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that one too. Everybody should listen to the Party Games Experience. But there is a podcast called Voyage to the Stars. It is a totally improv show that Felicia is part of, and it's basically Star Trek Voyager gets lost, and every episode they basically annihilate an entire race of aliens.
Well, wait a minute. This is the show that came out after the show that pioneered this podcast format, which was called Mission to Zix. They did it first. They did it better.
Yeah.
Oh, so, sick burn.
But they have lesser known people, so
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck them.
I'm kidding. I'm
No, it's going back to what you were talking about with that whole like play in the cinematic universe. I like the fact that like in like one of my favorite games, Skyrim, right? Like everyone here is like, okay, we see it, Voyage of the Stars.
I was giving it for the people at home. I'm not trying to shove it in your face.
Hey,
You know, I
Hey,
suggest
baby.
Jazz. He's not going to listen to it.
Hey, baby, fuss roda, right?
Oh,
Fuss
I'm
roda.
never listening to anything you ever do because you nope, not until you watch Lord of the Rings. So we are done with that part of our friendship.
Have you ever seen Red versus Blue?
What?
Oh yeah,
You ever seen Red versus Blue?
yeah.
Yeah.
I caught Red versus Blue like way back in the day, and I've done work for Rooster Teeth. See me in some Rooster Teeth stuff, folks.
Really?
Yeah.
Show me. I mean, send me. Tell me all after this, and I'll look them up.
I'll throw the links up.
So you need to update your web MD profile because your
My
Rooster-
WebMD profile. I'm not a
But-
doctor.
Sorry, the
IMDb.
IMD profile, because I know there's a whole lot more stuff on there that you've been in.
But here's
That
the
does
problem.
not show.
IMDb does not allow you to list certain things, mainly commercials. And unless it's like a certified place that does web series like Rooster Teeth, you can't list it.
Do you
Like,
work?
so
Have
we-
you
What's
worked
your
with
last name,
Achievement
Matt?
Hunter?
Hold on. I was on an episode of Achievement. Well, actually, it was Achievement Haunter. Was an episode that I was in where they were in an old sawmill and they were doing. It was actually I think a couple of different videos, and I think I was in 2 of them. But in that one, I was only extras. I did a couple of episodes of $1 Million Butt, and about 4 or 6 episodes of Day 5. I really wanted to do Laser Team, but I was not able to get in on any of those casting calls.
A little story about Draconis and myself. We went to high school in the '90s, and it wasn't cool in the area we went to high school in to be into video games and anime and video and D&D and fantasy and all that stuff, right? Unless you played football, you were a lesser person. Well, I just ended up giving up talking to people about video games and stuff when I was just in high school. And then lo and behold, we went to high school with one of the founding members of Achievement Hunters. And I was like, what the hell, dude? We could have been like friends a long time ago. Could have had a love connection. But fuck it. I guess it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I it's one of those things where when Red versus Blue came out, I was like, oh man, I really want to contact. I was a young guy. I'd done barely any acting at that point. I was like, oh man, I want to contact these. I want to do a voice for these guys. I can do voices. Oh, yeah. And I just didn't bother contacting them. And I was like, if you had gotten in on that ground floor where I could have gone like, look, I'm going to come. Then you'd be like a millionaire now. I'm sorry. You were saying about Rooster Teeth and Red versus Blue.
No, I was just saying. I wonder if you guys have seen it because it's amazing. They're gonna bring out another.
No, never
I have
mind
nothing
Red
to fucking
versus
talk about.
Hey,
hey, Red versus Blue, go.
I heard they're bringing out another season. I'm super excited about it.
Huh. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Rooster Teeth tanked all of their live series production actually shortly before the pandemic, so they were very lucky in that.
No, I was talking about with Skyrim. Oh, go ahead.
You've done a lot of casting calls, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of casting couches and, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Ooh,
just
you
laying it
found the
down for the
casting
folks.
couch.
Stop Googling right now. Stop Googling.
I've been in a couple of extras, but I was like, I stopped when I was younger, though.
It's a good time if you're not doing anything else. You can earn that sweet $80 a day for hanging out for 10 hours.
Yeah, I was on a couple episodes of the Friday Night Lights when they're in town.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's been my first extras job was Idiocracy.
Idiocracy, okay.
Yeah,
the
you can
sad
see me in
documentary.
I was an extra in this one called Chipotle Diamond. It was like a third film for the Sundance Festival.
That's my safe word.
Going back to what we were talking about with playing in the cinematic universe, it's funny they made a mod for Skyrim when you actually when you put the mod on Skyrim that you're not the Dragonborn or the dragon whatever, you're just some random person. You can still do every quest in the game, but you don't get any of the voice powers. And then every once in a while, one of the guards will talk to another guard and say, "Can you believe the Dragonborn is in the mountains doing blah 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 blah?" And then every once in a while you hear this "Groose Froba" from the mountains. You're all like, "Cool, all right, let's go back to doing this quest right here." I thought that was funny. Like when you start seeing games and people doing the workshop stuff, when they start doing that, like you said, you're this random person in the Star Wars universe. I thought that was pretty neat. As I say that, the three of you just get really quiet. You're like, "Fuck that!
Really
I want the voice. I want to kill dragons and absorb their souls. I want to heal people with the power of dragons."
So real quick, I want to show you guys something. Today was the first time I've ever been to H Mart.
Okay.
And that's a fantastic Asian store, and it has everything and anything that you could want specialized. But they have weird and random shit there too.
Okay.
And one of the things that I found was bacon soda.
Yes.
Why?
So I don't know.
Have you tried it yet?
No.
This is gonna try it right here, right now, live.
Right here, right now. This is my first tasting ever of bacon flavored soda.
We're going to have a VOD live on the air. And in 3, 2, 1.
Wait, switch it around your mouth.
Hold on. Oh, going back for seconds.
Tastes like a cop's semen.
It tastes like a cream soda with bacon bits.
That's disgusting.
Okay, so here's what we should do. We should
Not
every
disgusting.
podcast, we should get some kind of weird drink from H Mart now.
No.
All of us should drink it.
Oh, it has a weird aftertaste.
Yeah, no.
That bacon bits is coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, so funny story was I bought some donuts from a store and they fried the oil they fried the donuts in with corn chips. So the night before they were frying corn chips, and then when they fried the donuts the next morning or that night, I was eating one of the donuts. I go, "This tastes really weird." And then because you get that sweet donut-y flavor, the sour cream donut, and then immediately after the initial bite, a hint of corn starts to permeate in your palate, and then you're like, you look like a dog with peanut butter on his roof of his mouth. Oh, hey, Hoffren, how you liking that bacon soda?
Yeah, you're turning red.
The bacon is very much a lasting flavor.
Go ahead, take a drink. Take some more.
Yeah, wash that down with a spoonful of Baconaise.
Baconaise.
Why can't they just leave bacon alone? I mean, is that what kind of gluttonous life we're living? Where everything's gonna be fucking bacon flavored?
Bacon makes everything taste better, apparently.
No, it doesn't. We have proof.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought was bacon. Ooh, bacon anything.
We should see the reaction of Draconis looking up the dinosaur with 500 teeth.
Hold on. I'll look it up right now. Hold on. Oh, push the wrong button.
So I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but in my travels there was a restaurant that specialized in onion flavored donuts.
Oh.
And hold on now. I have to say that a sweet onion donut is actually pretty fan-fucking-tastic. It is not great.
That doesn't sound as horrible as.
And boom goes the dynamite. He looked it up. What's wrong? What's wrong, Draco? Don't show it! Don't show it!
Don't show it! Don't show it!
Is this like blue waffles?
No, it's look up on Google the dinosaur with 500 teeth.
Blue waffles is either. It's so funny. Anybody's watching Google blue waffles.
Matt, you might be too highbrow for this. This might be too immature.
No, he's not. You're being kind.
The Nigersaurus.
See? Too highbrow. He's like, I don't get it. It's been mispronounced many times on TikTok.
That was a very decent pronunciation.
I'm just gonna say that no, I get it. I am not wading into that pool. Yeah, no.
Oh God. No, it was supposed to be a TikTok because I can't get Draco to make anything for our channel, even though he was part of the ground floor of creation. He refuses to do anything on YouTube. He had the audacity to tell me that TikTok had more followers than YouTube, and I was like, no, it's the other way around, buddy.
Billion users on TikTok.
No one uses TikTok. Everyone uses YouTube, though.
Dude, everybody uses TikTok now.
Out of the 4 people here, raise your hand if you use TikTok. Case example.
Look, that person over there too. Look at that.
The person over there too.
Damn.
Well, yeah, because he's doing a TikTok right now, so then there's going to be a person over there after he... And then it's going to be someone over there, and they're raising their hand, and then there's a music reaction.
Let's talk about one D&D thing real fast before we end it for the night. So, as D&D 5th edition is, I would say it's probably what you think it's in the half-life right now, or have we hit the downhill slope into 6th edition, you think, or are we still going strong with it?
I hope we're going strong with it.
Have you guys, the guys who've played older editions, who refuse to go to 5th, or the people who decided, like, I'm going to stick to only 5th, I don't want to go to older editions, whichever way you sway, whichever way it goes, have you thought about going back and playing some of the older editions, like the Hoffren?
No. Like I said, I started off with 3.5, 3.0, 3 something.
3.5, 3.0 is pretty much the same thing.
That's what I got introduced to, and all my friends were like, 4.0 sucks, so we're not doing anything after that. And then I got introduced to 5th edition, and 5th edition is so much better. Now, I've never played anything prior to, so I don't know if prior to 3.5 how good or bad they are. But 5th edition, and I'll say this, I'll pull it to my grave, is so much easier for me to understand, and they've simplified and made it easier for people as dumb as me to understand and keep up with. And, playing with me, I still struggle. Smite and Thunder Smite.
Well, 4th edition is a heck of a lot easier to understand than 5th edition is. It's literally a hack and slash game.
But that's the problem, is I'm not all about hack and slash. I like everything. I don't want just one piece. I want it all.
Yeah.
I'm Farouk Assault.
I'm all about dungeon crawl. I'm a good dungeon crawler.
What about you, Matt?
I think my favorite, my favorite D&D role-playing system would probably be GURPS. No, wait, that's not a role-playing. That's not D&D. Castles and Crusades. I think that's really my favorite dungeon. No, it isn't. It's not at all.
Whips and Chains. Dungeon Mistress.
No, I don't know. There's the Cortex Classic system is really my favorite role-playing system.
So are you gonna go like the 1st edition, 2nd edition, or are you just sticking the D20, or are you a Fate Core kind of person?
I'm more of a Dragon Quest kind of guy. We'll just.
I'm playing Dragon Quest right now, number 11.
Well, no, it's when you look back at the old, they actually call it the D20s. They have the D20 system, right? So like a lot of like White Wolf and all this stuff, they're part of the D20, but they're not part of the Tolkien universe essentially, or whatever, Gygax universe you want to call it. So
Gygax is what I scream when I come. Gygax! Gygax!
I hope there's a child out there right now who was born to Gygax, who was conceived with Gygax's name yelled.
Yeah, that have to explain to your child why you named them Gygax.
Yeah, then the kid comes out, they see what he looks like, and they're like, It was a botch.
So one of our old podcasts, we talked about what's your favorite edition, and I've actually thought about it that I wanna run an old edition. I want to go back to like a 3.5 or second edition, not like permanently, but just going back and playing with those old ones. Like maybe turn people onto it again, because I think there's a lot of people who play 5th edition who like the balance of it, but they want the tilting sides. Like 4th edition's mainly combat, mainly hack and slash. But like 2nd edition is not a lot of combat. You're mainly focused on role playing. So would something like that interest you, DeHoffrin? Nope, you're going to be the people you hate and say, I'm going to play 5th.
Bad schoolgirl and disciplinarian, that kind of role playing.
Yeah, that's the role playing I'm talking about.
Make sure you have a long ruler.
I was going to say, if you really want to, what I would start doing, I don't know. It's the internet. There's probably like already 10 podcasts dedicated to introducing people to weird and esoteric role-playing systems. But you should do the TWRPS system from 1987.
The TWRPS?
TWRP system, which was the world's easiest role-playing game, or no, the world's easiest role-playing system. TWRPS, 1987.
Yeah, we call that fake core. You just say whatever the hell you want, roll a d6, and magically you do it. Can't stand fake core.
Isn't that like Pathfinder? Isn't that
no, you played fake core.
No, with Alan, right?
Yep.
TWRPS was a parody of overly complicated role-playing systems.
Well, I love like in Parks and Rec when Ben Wyatt had the Cones of Dunshire expansion. It was like painfully intricate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny is the more and more I see that, I'm like, yeah, I get that. Like when he's all explaining like Cones of Dunshire, I kind of miss out. I miss the Kickstarter that someone actually created, a limited run of Cones of Dunshire. But it's not tailored to 9-year-old girls, so Draco hasn't seen that show yet. So. No, really, it's funny is DeHoffrin and Draco will tell me about. Well, we'll be sitting here talking to me, and my 9-year-old daughter will come in. And they'll start talking about a TV show, and I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, go ahead, talk to her. I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, this is happening. Like the Josie and the Spectrals or
Julie and the Phantoms.
Julie and the Phantoms.
And the Wing Saga.
And the Wing Saga.
Josie and the Pussycats in space.
Well, I have to be careful. One of our friends is like you, likes to watch the crazy horror movies and just all the B-rated horror movies.
Or like what, Teeth?
No, like I think one of his favorites is Puppet Master.
Hold on, Teeth.
Puppet Master is great.
Teeth is a great film.
Teeth
was shot right here in Austin. And in fact, the house that was the girl's house in the movie is one block over from me and 2 blocks up.
Oh my God!
But don't you ever diss the Puppet Master. They went kind of crazy after the first couple of them. But the first one is just cinematic gold.
When I go to Gazuzu and I see the little toys that are Puppet Masters, why the fuck anyone buys this, I have no idea.
No, I'm all about Tales of the Crypt.
The original 1972 Hammer horror feature, I'm assuming, is what you're talking about?
Tales of the Crypt or
90,
Puppet Master?
like the 90 version.
No.
With John Cassier as
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm not looking that shit up.
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
Up here.
No.
So let me ask you. For horror films, what is your bag if you don't like the cheesy or the bad horrors?
I'll tell you right now, the worst horror, the one that scares me the most is Idiocracy. That movie scares me the absolute most. And horror movie after that, it's
Showgirls.
No. Oh fuck,
Magic
what was
Mike?
it? It's one that gets me is like shit you can't fight, like paranormal stuff, like a ghost. I don't know what it is, like Ghost with Patrick Swayze. That movie just scared the shit out of me. I mean, I don't fucking get it. Like Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore, or whatever her name is, make out, and we don't get to see that.
So here's a fun fact, okay?
What's that?
When we were in 6th grade, my dad took me out of school one time, maybe it was 7th grade, to go see Jurassic Park, the very first one. as a kid, I got scared of everything. I got scared so bad I pissed my pants in the theater. So I get
Clever
scared
girl.
easily. Easily I get scared. But nowadays I like getting scared. But back then,
Like,
Tales from the Crypt gave me nightmares. I'd watch it though, but it'd give me nightmares.
being a larger
what is it?
person, I never like had a problem with it. I guess honestly my favorite horror movie is Cabin in the Woods. Honestly, that's my
The
favorite
Cabin Fever?
one. Cabin in the
Fever
Woods.
one?
Cabin in the Woods. That one's a great one.
That's
if you
my
haven't seen
favorite.
Cabin in the Woods, it's totally different than Cabin Fever.
The Grudge.
Okay.
Like the problem I have with The Grudge is why
Which
didn't you
one?
just look at her and say you've proved there's an
The first
afterlife?
one, I think.
I'm angry. I'm gonna stay in the ground long when I die, and I'm gonna come find you in the afterlife. That's my problem.
What about The Ring?
What?
Wait. With both The Grudge and The Ring, are we talking about the original good Japanese versions, or are we talking about the American versions?
Well,
The
I
American
watched
version.
both Ring U and Ring, and I watched The Grudge with oh god, what the fuck is Buffy's name?
Sarah Jessica.
Sarah,
No, not
Sarah something. Sarah. Hold on.
No,
Sarah
go ahead,
Gellar.
I want to hear it. Sarah
Yeah,
Jessica
Sarah Gellar.
Parker.
no Sarah Gellar.
I watched that one. I haven't watched the Japanese version of The Grudge.
Oh, you're
Because-
cutting out.
Am I cutting
Your
out?
your mic's been cutting out off and on.
Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
job,
Sarah
man.
Michelle Gellar,
Half
and
the
that's what I
podcast
saw.
is ruined now. You ruined our podcast, bro. God.
Not funny.
Keep
So here-
smiling.
So okay, so as I kind of feel like I'm the resident weird esoteric
Oh,
film
yeah.
guy. Here's your assignment. Each of you needs to go watch The Story of Ricky.
The Story of Ricky.
I don't
The
know
Story
if I
of
want
Ricky.
to type this in.
I lost my pen. There it is.
The Story
It's just-
of Ricky.
So I got
It's-
the Google Quincy, Paradigm Chronicles, and The Story of Ricky.
Story of Ricky. That is it is also called Ricky O, RIKI-O. It is available for free to watch on Tubi television. If you don't mind watching it with a bunch of ads.
I don't mind as long as it's free. You said the word free, and that's all that matters in the end.
Yeah, so this is the most insane. I'm not even going to tell you what it's about other than
Is it the Ricky O?
Yeah.
Ricky O, The Story of Ricky. Don't
I've
even look
seen
up what it's
this.
about.
Yeah, I've seen that. That shit's amazing.
You've seen that. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my favorite's the big sumo guy in the shower.
Yes.
That
Hey,
that
don't ruin
is
it for
an
us.
amazing
Don't.
scene.
We haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
He didn't
There's
spoil
no
anything.
podcast to talk about it.
Okay.
You better watch all the fake too.
Hey,
All fake.
y'all want to know something about Draco? He is the worst person when it comes to spoiling movies. He was the kid who walked around and said he didn't know Bruce Willis was dead already.
You what?
He didn't know that. He literally went to our group of friends and said, "Can you believe Bruce Willis was dead the whole time?" And everyone's like, "In what?" He goes, in that movie with the ghost."
Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense.
Okay, so literally, I was standing in line to go see The Sixth Sense, and somebody, like some, like frat dicks, came out of the fucking doors of the theater, walked down the line, shouting, "Bruce Willis is dead the whole time! Bruce Willis is dead!" And like we're all standing in line, just kind of like, huh? Like we're waiting to get tickets.
That's well, it was another
I'm that
one was
guy.
when Dumbledore dies on page 296 t-shirts.
Yeah, that is. Dumbledore died on page 295. Can you believe
We-
it?
When I was dragged to the opening night of one of the Harry Potter releases at a bookstore here, and someone was walking around with that T-shirt, or they were talking about buying that T-shirt because I guess it got leaked. The manuscript got leaked, and it's T-shirt hell like made the T-shirts or whatever. It's like there I saved 8 hours and $25, whatever it was. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, when I watched Lord of the Rings, I knew it was going to happen, but I still fucking enjoyed the hell out of it. Do you know what happens
So-
to Hoffman?
The extended edition is better.
Throws
though.
the ring into the fire. Actually, I do. I have seen the end of Lord of the Rings. I know what happens at the end.
So hey man,
Who
here's
throws
what
the
here,
ring in the fire?
here's how it ends. Gollum and Frodo climb into a car and they fly off into the sky like the end of Grease.
What is it? impression.
Oh, I guarantee you if that really happened, DeHoff would be watching it tonight.
I just heard Greece. I'm on it.
Okay.
John
So
Travolta.
it's the one that you want. Yeah. And so here's the deal. This is what I will do: is I will furnish you with the Riff Tracks copies of all three of the films for you to watch, because it greases the way like mayo on a dry sandwich. Or
No, I'll watch it if it's
Move with
the
a Stranger.
was it 60-second bunnies version?
You know what? There's a
Cliff
fan
Notes?
edit. There is actually a 2-hour fan edit.
Is that Topher did that one?
Say what?
Did Topher Grace do that one, or is that only in Star Wars?
I don't know. There was the Star Wars fan edit that took all of the prequels and made them into a watchable movie, and then there was a person that took all three of the Lord of the Rings movies and edited them down into a single feature. It's a fan edit. You can find it at places like MySpleen. You can go find out what that is, and other places. But yeah, I could get you the succinct 2-hour version.
Okay. All right, you guys. As much as I enjoy talking with everybody, it has gotten well past our hour marker.
We are
and
an
I'm
hour
pretty
and 20
sure-
minutes. 20.
I'm pretty sure we've
minutes.
lost half our viewers
We
20
only had
minutes
2.
ago.
Our viewers stopped about 10 seconds ago, because that's what TikTok is.
No. See this beautiful mug here? That's why the ladies stay.
So I will let Chaz wrap us up, but I think anybody watching is pretty much
Well,
done with
actually,
this.
we have to wait for DeHoffren. DeHoffren, go ahead.
All right, bye, you guys. Talking to you, DeHoffren here. Share. If you're listening, watching, call me. I would love to meet you. Want to get slapped in the face by you. Everybody watch Julie and the Phantoms and Wink Saga. If you don't want to watch it, just let it run in the background so that it gets the views so that we get a second season to them.
All right, Draco, what do you got?
Christopher Walken, if you're watching.
I've seen your show, and it's fantastic. I don't really know what the show's about, but it's Walken in a winter wonderland is the best guess.
I love it.
It's fantastic. It's crazy.
Fantastic. I love it.
I mean, who would have thought to make a shirt with me
It's my place. Yeah,
on the shirt?
I love it.
It's crazy.
All right, what do you got for us, Matt, before we leave?
Soup. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's I was just going to launch into Christopher Walken as a waiter.
We're gonna stop this one, then we're gonna restart
Next
with the
podcast,
Walken
we
hour.
Chris Walken the whole time. The Walken hour. We're all
Well,
doing
that's-
Walken impressions.
That's already been a podcast, Talking Walken with Kevin Pollak.
Well, you could do late night with Walken, where you come out with a teddy on and just talk and just read a book from with Walken voice.
You know what? This is a late. I know we're wrapping up because that never happens with me. So you guys need to go look up a great series. It's a fantasy series. It's a web series. It's free. It's called Duralius and Associates.
Oh God, you're so quick.
Duralius and
I'm
Associates.
keeping up with you.
It's a YouTube. It's like a 72-part animated fantasy YouTube series that also is comedy. Duralius and Associates, and they have Walken, who's on there, and he's Duralius. How are we going to defeat them? They're too powerful.
Wait, what's this called now?
Duralius and Associates. It's made by the guys who did Battlefield Friends, Hank and Jed, I think is their channel. The long running channel. Great animated fantasy series. Duralius and Associates. Cannot recommend it more highly. Dorales, Duralius and Associates. 2.5 minute to 4 minute episodes, easily digestible and hilarious.
It is
I will
funny.
check it out. I have homework to do now, apparently.
I'll throw up links in the feed.
Yeah.
I'll put the links on our description. Do you have anything else you want to add before we leave, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, if get your shots when they become available. Wear a mask, and then when this is all over, wear a fun mask in the bedroom or in real life.
You don't have a web show that you want to plug in?
Oh, I suppose.
Hey,
You guys
twisted my arm.
you guys can find the action adventure of Clarence the Sock. Look up Clarence the Sock wherever good socks are sold. No, Clarence the Sock on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter's. Though the Twitter's slightly inactive, but it's a new interview and talk show that is hosted by Clarence the Sock. He's a son of a bitch. He's a delight. It's a 70s talk show.
Well, that seems to do it for everybody. I'm glad everyone was here to watch it with us as we danced around a subject, a grandioso, yeah. So just remember, everybody, this was Draco. Start with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm over here on their side. See, Draco.
And then
DeHoffrin.
And
Juliet Lewis.
just remember, folks, if you have consent, you can do whatever you want. Good night.